because in this text it says, blessed with spiritual security is the man who believes and trusts and relies on the Lord. Are you relying on the Lord currently in this season of your life right now? And so moving on to planted in the Hebrew. And so that is nata. It means to plant, to establish, set firmly. I really like this one. Fix in place. You know, you have like a painting in your house and it's slightly tilted, but everybody doesn't notice it. Only you or maybe like two other people notice that the picture is kind of tilted. So you go up to it and you kind of fix it back in place. This is what this word exemplifies. To fix in place. So you might already be in the ground, but are you rooted? Are you fixed in where you're supposed to be at? And so this word is used for planting trees, vines, God establishing people, being rooted in a place spiritually. There last year, I was in Virginia at Liberty University, and I thought I was getting my master's, and so I had already been there for a year. The school year was finishing up, and God goes, yeah, Maria, you're going back home to South Carolina. And I was like, what you mean? I thought I was supposed to be here, right? But God showed me that this was not the place where I was supposed to take root at. And so sometimes God will move you for just for a season. That was just for a year. And I met some great friends. I was able to pray over some people that needed prayer. I was able to be there for certain people. But God said, Mari, that's not your home. That's your deployment. If you know anything about deployment, you ain't there forever. You might be there for 3 years, but that don't mean that's your forever. And so what God is trying to do in our lives is he's not only trying to plant us, but he's trying to fix us in the right place. Like, okay, yeah, I put you here, but now I'm about to uproot you and put you here. Because this is where place B is where you need to be fixed in place. Place A, you were just there for a little bit of time. You might have grown a branch or two, but that's not where you're supposed to reside. You're supposed to reside in this other place. And so an example used in the scriptures is Psalm 92, verse 13. And it says, planted in the house of the Lord, they will flourish in the courts of our God. Now, this part right here, y'all about to... It means intentionally rooted, cultivated, given conditions to grow. So going back to that place where it's like, oh, should you be in this place? If you're not growing, you might need to reevaluate. You might need to realize, okay, I might need to uproot and move down the street a couple blocks because I'm not growing here. Our yard, it's so interesting because you don't think about it when it comes to your front yard, your backyard, the side of your yard. But our front yard has tough soil. So as a kid, I would always try to because I wanted the whole neighborhood to see my beautiful pumpkin plants that I got from school. They never grew. And I didn't know why, because what I learned in school was when you put a seed in the ground, it's going to grow. When you water it and let the sun touch it, it's going to grow. But nobody taught me the conditions of the soil. Ooh. So if your soil is too tough, if it does not have enough nutrients, if it's not allowing enough water to come in, if your seed is trapped, it's not going to grow. If you feel trapped, you're not going to grow. Now, there's a difference between being stretched and being trapped, and we'll talk about that later. But the side of my yard has more moist soil. So I realized, my mom one day told me, and my grandma, she was I would consider her to be a botanist. She was like, hey, Mari, I think you need to put this over here on this side because this soil is more moist. And now how many of y'all know that God is the same way? Hey, Camille, plant that seed over there. Because that seed over there in that corner is not going to work. It's not going to grow. It's not going to be nourished. It's not going to get enough sunlight. We want to make sure that it's planted in the right place and that it's set firmly where it's supposed to be so that it can establish its growth where it is. Woo, God is good. Meant to remain and flourish. Going right back to what we were saying. Now, this is the part y'all might shout after this. It says it's often connected to covenant. So the promises of God, right? Blessing, which we all love. Woo! We love a good blessing. And the word permanence. Now, when I study, if I don't know the meaning of a word, I'm going to go look it up. So I said permanence. Okay, permanence sounds like permanent. like permanent marker. So I was like, okay, what does this mean? So watch how science connects to the Bible. See, this is going to give you another amp up on those people that say that, oh, the Bible can't be real because science says the Big Bang Theory and God couldn't have created the earth because of XYZ. No, let me show y'all something real quick. So permanence, the definition of permanence is the quality or state of lasting indefinitely, without significant change. It implies stability, enduring existence, and the ability to retain properties over extended periods of time. So let's have a science class real quick. So certain materials that are permanent, have permanence, glass, it can be melted down. You've seen it, into specific types of jewelry, remade into new glass products without losing quality, purity, or safety. Hold on to that. Aluminum can be reused repeatedly without weakening its structure or performance. That aluminum foil that you use after you leave the cookout, that's, is made the way it's made so that it can keep our food sealed, okay? Metals like steel and copper, they retain their durability, their strength, and essential properties through countless recycling cycles. Woo! Y'all, now this last one, that's why it's green. Nothing else is green. Y'all, so I work as a pre-K special ed teacher, so this shocked me. So there's an early childhood skill that they want children to learn before they turn 3 or 4. So while they're an infant, they want to teach them this thing. It's called object permanence. It is when they're teaching the child how to understand that objects still exist even when they can't be seen. How many of y'all are waiting on blessings that God already told you he's going to give you, but you don't see it yet? That's connection number 1 from science to God. Here's connection number 2. How many of y'all know that God is real, but you've never seen him? Connection number 2. Now let's think about, moving on. Let's think about glass, aluminum, metals. They don't lose their quality even though they're melted down, remade, reused, being crushed into recycling cycles. What does God show us? 2 Corinthians 4 verses 8 through 10, it says, we are pressured in every way, hedged in, but not crushed, perplexed, unsure of finding a way out, but not driven to despair, hunted down and persecuted, but not deserted to stand alone. Woo! Struck down, but never destroyed, always carrying around in the body the dying of Jesus, so that the resurrection life of Jesus also may be shown in our body. So God said, just like glass can be reused and melted down, the same way you may be feeling like you're getting melted down in your trial, in your tribulation, in your struggles, yet you still alive. Yet you still hold the properties of what it means to be a disciple. Yet you still hold the properties of what it means to be a child of the Most High King. Yet you still win. He said, it don't matter if you get pressured. It don't matter if you are a little unsure of finding out where you're going or driven to despair, where you feel like you're losing everything. He said, just like that metal, just like that glass or that aluminum, I will continue to use you even when you feel like you can't be used. This season of my life, I have been through a lot. For those of you that don't know, I found out I was sexually assaulted 3 years ago in February. So that's a very interesting dynamic. And I've been walking through it and I've been experiencing the freedom and the deliverance of Christ. But what I realized is there are people out there that still need prayer. And people, knowing what I'm going through, still come to me for prayer. So what I'm going through or what I found out does not disqualify me. It doesn't mean I can't be used by God either. Yes. What it means to you, to all of us, to the kingdom of heaven means that we all are vessels and we all go through trials and and the scriptures say we're to be slaughtered like sheep, which means we're going to be hurt. We're going to go through it, right? But as we transition to this next scripture, it says, but as for me, I'm like a green olive tree in the house of God. And if you don't know about olives, to get their nutrients, to get all the olive oil and all those things, they have to be crushed and stepped on and pressured and all these things. And so to say I'm a green olive tree in the house of God means not only do you flourish, but you flourish in the midst of pressure. You flourish in the midst of trial. This next line says, I trust confidently in the loving kindness of God forever and ever. I will thank you forever because you have done it, Lord. You have rescued me and kept me safe. I will wait on your name, for it is good in the presence of your godly ones. What does this mean? This means that I will, even though I'm literally getting crushed, like I'm really just getting pressured right now, whether if it's through life, whether if it's through relationships, whether if it's through a job, whatever it is, I can still thank you. I know y'all be in church and they say, if you can't say nothing else, just tell them thank you. Tell them thank you. Even in the midst of all this, tell them thank you. Ooh, that was so good.